Question. Some are teaching that there were two sets of human beings in the book of Genesis. How many of you all have heard this before? There were two sets of beings, human beings or creations or things. Let's examine this. As we go through this, people who believe that there were two sets, call them pre-Adamites. Pre-Adamites. Let's examine this. Number one, you had the male and his female. How many of you all have heard that? And then there was Adam and Eve. Right? You have heard that before? Okay. How many of you all believe that? There were two separate, there was Adam and Eve, and then when Adam and Eve had children, their children married. Who did the children marry, by the way? Let's ask a question. Who did the children marry? Let's see who's thinking. Sisters? Okay. Elder says sister. Family, siblings? All right. Anyone disagree? They marry someone else? Okay. Anybody disagree? There's no disagreements? Yeah, we're going to go into that. I think this is so important. All right. If that is true, then how do we address these issues? Let's take a look. But before we do that, let's examine a little background of what this is called. Yeah, the book of Jubilee mentions that, sisters, and Joshua also speaks about that too. Okay? Because Adam had lots of children. I mean, you can't have a man living in 930 years. Is it 930? Yeah, 930 years old. And then he only had Cain and Abel and Seth. That's it, 3 running around. He was commanded to do what? Multiplies. Multiply means to apply more than one. Is that correct? You're applying more than one. Multi-apply. Right, Elder? Okay. But if you're not multi-applying, what are you doing? You what? I don't know. I'm not a mathematician or wizard, like they call it. Okay. All right, let's take a look at this. So let's look at the root. Let's follow the folly. Wikipedia talks about this as pre-Adamites. Read for me, please.
The pre-Adamite hypothesis, or pre-Adamism, is a theological belief that humans or intelligent yet not human creatures existed before the biblical character Adam.
See that? Read.
Pre-Adamism is therefore distinct from the conventional Abrahamic belief that Adam was the first human.
You see, so Wikipedia is letting us know that those people who came out from Adam, the Hebrews, had a different understanding. They didn't believe in no pre-Adam peoples. Y'all understand that? I mean, am I reading that correctly? Am I saying it correctly from what I'm looking at here, Mishpachah? Please correct me if I'm wrong. Is that what it's saying? Conventional, distinct from the conventional Abrahamic belief that Abraham was the first human. Read on. Advocates?
Advocates of this hypothesis are known as pre-Adamites, along with the humans who they believe existed before Adam.
All right, so let us, as we go through this, people who believe that there were two sets, call them pre-Adamites. And if they call themselves Hebrew Israelites, Hebrew pre-Adamite Israelites. I don't know. So some name along those lines, okay? Let's look at the Christian and pagan ideology, early development. Go ahead and read.
The first known debate about human iniquity took place in 170 AD between a Christian, Theophilus of Antioch, and an Egyptian pagan.
So Theophilus of Antioch is not Theophilus that you read in the book of Acts, okay, or the book of Luke, chapter 1. This is speaking about an Egyptian or Christian and an Egyptian pagan was having a discussion. Read on.
Apollonius, the Egyptian, probably Apollonius Disclos, who argued that the world was 153,075 years old.
Read.
An early challenge to biblical atomism came from the Roman Emperor Julian the Apostate.
Roman Emperor Julian also came up with a bunch of hocus pocus nonsense. Read.
Who, upon his rejection of Christianity and his return to
His
paganism,
return to what?
paganism,
Uh-huh.
accepted the idea that many pairs of original people have been created, a belief term co-atomism or multiple atomism.
So, Mishpachah, we can see that for a long time you got Christians and pagans coming up with this philosophy, and now we find today Hebrews continuing or bringing that cockroach egg into the Hebraic awakening. We can't have that. There's a reason why I do a lot of research. And I don't even do research as heavy as I used to before. Because to me, you reach to a certain point, and if you teach people and they don't get it, what's the sense? Well, one thing that you have to do, you have to hold that sword and shamar. You have to guard. Otherwise, people are going to come in and tear everything down. Okay, let's continue on. Let's look at Islam, because you know Islam is a daughter of Rome. And I've taught about this also. Okay, let us take a look and see. Read.
In early Islam, a common belief held that mankind is actually the successor of other intelligent creatures such as jinn and hin. Medieval Muslim traditions referred to the jinn as pre-Adamites.
See that? So they believe that this jinn were pre-Adamites, fallen angels. A jinn is supposed to be a genie or fallen angels. Okay, read.
Depicted as human-like in various ways. Although the notion of jinn as pre-Adamites was generally accepted, the idea that other humans lived before the known Adam was controversial. From the mid-9th century onward, the idea appeared that God created several Adams.
Oh, so God created several Adams. Read.
Each of whom presides over an era lasting around 50,000 years. This concept was regarded as heretical, but was widely accepted by Ismailis and Sufis.
All right, so we're setting the thing up a little bit first to show that the peoples in Christianity, paganism, and Islam held this type of belief, not Israelites. Read.
In 1860, Isabella Duncan wrote Pre-Adamite Man, or The Story of Our Old Planet and Its Inhabitants, told by scripture and science, a mixture of geology and scriptural interpretation.
A mixture, read.
The book was popular among a number of geologists because it mixed biblical events with science.
Mixture, read.
She suggested that pre-Adamites are angels today, or today's angels.
She suggested that the pre-Adamites were angels. These are Gentiles trying to teach Mishpachah. So you have the non-Adamites, they're not from the seed of Adam, who they're saying were fallen angels. Now, to be honest with you, that makes more sense, right? Fallen angels before Adam, right? Read on.
Since they were without sin, For sin did not enter the world until Adam disobeyed God.
So now they're saying that sin did not enter the world until Adam disobeyed. But is that true? It's only true for Adam. But when the angels sinned against the Most High and they came to earth, sin entered with them. Isn't that true? Mm-hmm. Now, please correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
But when the Bible speaks about sin entered the world, and it mentions Adam, it's speaking about mankind in that light. It's not including the angels. Okay? Let's read on.
There was no reason for them not to have been at least raptured into heaven, anticipating what would again occur with the second coming of Jesus Christ.
So they're saying that these pre-Adamites, because they didn't have any sin, they're going to be able to be raptured up into heaven, anticipating that what would again occur with the second coming of Jesus Christ. So it's going to happen again. It's going to happen. That's what they're saying. Now, do you all understand how this connects with the rapture doctrine? Because these people are saying it's that the pre-Adamites are angels. And now they're making the connection that the angels are going to be raptured back up to heaven. Who was the one kicked out of heaven? Satan. So who's the one with the ideology of going back up to heaven? Who wants to set his throne above Elohim's throne? The devil. So this whole ideology of going up to heaven comes from Lucifer himself. That wasn't good enough. Now he came to the Garden of Eden. And whom did he seek out? Not the one with the power, the weaker vessel. The one behind the power? The one behind the power, the one behind the power. Brother Pincus, the one behind the power, the one behind the power. Oh my. We in trouble. So much trouble. All right, Mishpachah, let's read on.
Duncan also believed that some angels had sinned and fallen from heaven, which caused them to become demons. Duncan supposed that such an upheaval would leave geological scars on the earth. The concept of ice ages, pioneered by Louis Agassiz.
All right, you can stop there. Let's move on. We don't need to read the rest of that. Now, they also have this concept or this doctrinal belief about the Negro. All right? That the Negro is the beast preserved on the ark. Let's read.
Buckner H. Payne, writing under the pen name Ariel, published a pamphlet in 1867 entitled The Negro. What is his ethnological status? He insisted that all the sons of Noah had been white.
He insisted that all the sons of Noah were whites. Read.
This created a problem then regarding non-white races if the flood had been universal and the only survivors were white. Payne's solution was to suggest that the Negro is a pre-Adamitic beast of the field, specifically a higher order of monkey.
So when he said that all people, Noah's sons were all white and Noah was white, the question is, well, how did black people show up, Negroes show up? So he said, okay, they were the pre-Adamic beasts of the field. So when the Most High told Noah to gather the beasts 2 by 2, guess what? The Negro was one of the beasts that were 2 by 2 coming into the ark. That's their belief. Go ahead and read.
Which was preserved on Noah's ark. According to Payne, they were a separate species without immortal souls.
So what he is saying, based on this understanding, that we or the Negroes were animals. And if they were animals, then Noah, sons, grandsons, grandchildren, wives, the children of Noah slept with beasts. That's bestiality. They're pushing bestiality, Mishpachah. Because when you identify certain as beasts, and then the children, after a while, they mingled or mixed, had sexual encounters with Noah's sons. Mishpachah, you're talking about bestiality. That's wickedness. So we are looking at this whole ideology of two separate Adams, two separate peoples. One is beasts or fallen angels, and one is Adam. Y'all see that? That's confusion, elder. Okay? So when people come up with this stuff, they don't know, they don't have the understanding. Where are you getting this stuff from? You don't know, because you don't research anything. Now, the British Israelism, British Israelites is like Herbert W. Armstrong and many of these other groups who say that England and America are Ephraim and Manasseh and Judah and all kinds of crazy stuff. They put themselves into the picture as being Israel, the lost tribes of Israel. But Deuteronomy 28, Leviticus 26, and all the other things of the Bible doesn't fit them at all. You take one of these fair-skinned, light-skinned redheads and put them in any Egyptian sun for 2 hours and tell them you're going to make bricks without straw for just 2 hours. That's it. No suntan lotion. Just 2 hours and see what happens. See how long they're going to last, Mishpachah. It's impossible. Let me see where we want to go. As a matter of fact, let's read a little bit.
The doctrine known as British Israelism, which developed in England in the 19th century, also sometimes included a pre-Adamitic worldview, but that was a minority position.
Mm-hmm.
The model viewed pre-Adamites as a race of inferior bestial creatures apart from Adam, who was the first white man and consequently the first son of God. In the narrative, Satan seduces Eve, and the resulting offspring is a hybrid creature, Cain. Later, Cain flees the East Turkestan to establish a colony of followers intent of realizing the devil's plan for domination of the earth. A further elaboration of this myth involved the identification of the Jews with the Canaanites, the putative descendants of Cain, but the eponymous ancestor of the Canaanites is not Cain, but Canaan. It followed that the tribes of Judah were supposed to have intermarried with Cain's descendants. The Jews were both the offspring of Satan and the descendants of sundry non-white pre-Adamic races.
And it goes into the serpent seed movement. You've probably heard about that. A lot of Israelites are talking about serpent seed and this and that and the other. Mishpachah, if angelic beings were messing around with women, according to the book of Enoch and the book of Genesis and so forth, and the Most High sent a flood to wipe out certain things, do you think it's possible that the Most High didn't know that would the Most High allow things to slip onto the ark and start the same old thing all over again? Would he allow Noah, after the ark has settled, just right after that, to have this nonsense occur? Would he choose a man called Jacob and says, I'm going to bless you because I promised to bless you, and your father Isaac and your grandfather Abraham is blessed, and you're going to have 12 sons. One of them is going to be the lineage in which the Messiah is going to be established. It's called Judah. And that the Most High doesn't know what he's doing, that he's going to allow some serpent seed to be mixed into Judah, that now we have to start questioning, well, who is serpent from who's not serpent? This is madness. I hope you all understand what I'm saying. This is nonsense. So when people throw stuff hoping that it would stick, it doesn't. It's a bunch of nonsense. So let's look at this. Let's look at the problem that is occurring. The problem is that some are saying, well, Adam was formed, but the other ones were made. So it's two separate things. Let's read Genesis chapter 1, verses 26 and 27.
And Elohim said,
Uh-huh.
let us make man in our image, after our likeness,
Mm-hmm.
and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So Elohim created man in his own image. The image of Elohim created he him. Male and female created he them.
Now, this is before the term or the word Adam is mentioned. So in the minds of that person, they're believing that this is another human or humanoid or something that is of some kind of a human being. Okay, this is not Adam. This is another creation. Genesis 2 and 4, and this is where they're basing it on. Genesis 2 and 4. Let's read verses 7.
And Yahuwah Elohim formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul.
So please ignore where it says 4. So the Most High formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. So when they read this, they said these are two different things. Verses 8, read.
And Yahuwah Elohim planted a garden eastward in Eden. And there he put the man whom he had formed.
Wait a minute. So Eden came about afterwards, and the Most High took the man and he put the man in the garden. So where was the man before? Where was he before? Verses 15.
And Yahuwah Elohim took the man and put him into the garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it.
Okay, so let's look at this. So according to the people's logic that there were two Adams or two separate creations, beings, right? I'm trying to find the right word because it doesn't make any sense. So those who believe that Adam, there were people made before Adam, according to their logic, just by reading these two separate chapters, chapter 1 and chapter 2, side by side, which ones were made in the likeness of Elohim and which one were not made in the likeness of Elohim? If the ones before Adam were the beasts or some other creation, who would be the ones in the image of Elohim? Wouldn't it be the pre-Adamites, based upon their logic that there are pre-Adamites? Because the Bible says, let us make man in our image after our likeness. Genesis 1 and 26. So if that be the case, if there are two separate beings, that means that the ones that are the pre-Adamites are not beasts. Otherwise, you are saying that the Most High made a beast like himself. And if you're saying that these pre-Adamites were Negroes, then guess what? The Most High is also a Negro like the pre-Adamites. If you're saying that these are beasts, non-intelligent creatures, then you're saying that the Most High is not intelligent either. Because it says that he is creating them in his own image. But then you say that Adam was formed, but does it say the one that is formed in this particular reading here, does it say that he's in the likeness of Elohim? No, it doesn't say that. We're going to continue on. Okay? It doesn't say that. So Adam would not be in the likeness of Elohim, but the pre-Adams would be in the likeness of Elohim. Which one is closer to Elohim? The one formed or the one made or created? That's the question. So the one that he made in his image and the one that he breathed into is two different people. So the first one wasn't breathed into. The second one was breathed into. All right, let's find out. Let's keep looking at the words. So, according to the Bible, sin only affected Adam and Eve, not the male and the female. Question: who was given the commandment not to eat the fruit? The ones in Genesis chapter 1 or the ones in Genesis chapter 2? Let's read Romans 13 to 14.
For until the law, sin was in the world, but sin is not imputed when there is no law.
So there's no law, so there's no sin. When you have a law and you transgress the law, instantly sin occurs, right? Who did the Most High said, based upon the logic of two creations or two separate beings, who was given, you shall not eat of the fruit of the tree of this in the garden? Right? Who was given that? The pre-Adamites or the Adamites? Mishpachah? Because that means to say that the pre-Adamites did not sin. Only one set of creation sinned. Verses 14, let's read.
Nevertheless, death reigned from Adam to Moses, even over them that had not sinned, after the similitude of Adam's transgression, who is the figure of him that was to come.
So everybody that came from Adam lineage was subject to sin. It reigned from Adam to Moses, so I guess it stopped with Moses? No. The law not to eat the fruit cannot be applied to the male and female, but only to Adam and those who came out from him. You see the little sticky note there? The post-it note? Because we need to see that thing. All you have to do is ask the right questions. Let's move on. Question: if Adam was a son of God, then where do the male and female beings fit in? If Adam is a son of God, Luke 3 and 38, let's read.
Which was the son of Enos, which was the son of Seth, which was the son of Adam, which was the son of Elohim.
You see, Adam is the son of God. But the male and female in Genesis chapter 1, they're not the son of God, according to the logic of those people who believe that. So I have to ask this question. Which one did you all come from? Did you all come from Adam, or did you all come from the male and female? I mean, we need to find out. Because people are making a frenzy, a fuss, saying there were two creations, but yet the Most High spoke to Adam and gave him, put him in the garden and fixed him up and give him a whole package deal and everything else. But he didn't do that with Genesis chapter 1 with the male and female. So which one are you? Which one did you come from? Does anyone know? So we're in trouble. You're not in trouble, Elder? Okay. Everybody wants to be the son of God, right? 1 Corinthians 15 and 22. Let's read.
For as in Adam all die, even so in Mashiach shall all be made alive.
All right, let's read 45.
And so it is written, the first man Adam was made a living soul. The last Adam was made a quickening spirit. So
Adam was made a living soul. The male and female were not living souls. They were just like animals. The sixth day, right? On the sixth day, he made what? The beasts. Is that correct? Behemoth. On the fifth day, he made what? The fish and the birds. The fourth day, he turned the lights on. The third day, he had the grass growing on the trees and whatnot, right? So I guess the pre-Adamites were the beasts of the field, right? And everybody else were made a quickening spirit. So which one are you? This is the kind of nonsense. Let's move on. So if mankind in Genesis 2 is to be understood as other beings formed, then one must also conclude that there were two separate generations of things created, plants and whatnot. Because Genesis 2 and 4 says, go ahead and read.
These are the generations of the heavens and of the earth when they were created.
And then it goes into the little history. It says, these are the generations of the heavens and of the earth, the things of the heavens and of the earth. When they were created, when they were created. This is verses 4. As you continue on, it gives you an account of what was or were created, Mishpachah. I mean, listen, I'm not a professor of education or whatever the case may be, but I think I have enough common sense to know something when I see it, when I read it. Otherwise, Hima, you need to put me in a corner and beat me with some rods because I didn't learn so well in school. Elder? Okay. All right, let's take a look. See, the Bible already answered it if the people would simply slow down and read the book. Genesis 1, 26 to 27. Read.
And Elohim said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness. So Elohim created man in his own image. The image of Elohim created he him. Male and female created he them.
Genesis 5 and 1, where it mentions Adam. Let's see what it says.
This is the book of the generations of Adam. In the day that Elohim created man, and the likeness of Elohim made he him.
You see the same word, likeness? So in chapter 5, it tells us this is the only place, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the only place outside of Genesis 1 that connects and it uses the same terminology, our likeness in the likeness of Elohim made he him. Continue on, verses 2.
Male and female created he them.
Notice the word created, because the knuckleheads would say, oh, Genesis 2, he formed. And that means something different from created and make or made. Two different things. Brother Pincus, please help. Please help. Help, Brother Pincus. Grab the microphone, Brother Pincus. Help me out.
If an artist creates something, they're using stuff from the outsource in order to create their picture or whatever it is, whatever medium they use. If you form something, you're doing the same thing, whether you do it on paper or you're sculpting or whatever it may be. You're creating, you're forming, it's the same thing. It's just words, uses of words, basically. It's like spelling or grammar or wizardry or whatever you want to call it.
Wizardry, I like that. Yes, Ima.
Well, they taught me in school that when you say the word created, it's from something out of nothing. But when you say form, it's something from something. So that's what they taught me in school.
Okay. Well, let's continue reading. Hebrew, read verses 2 again. Male
and female created he them. And blessed them and called their name Adam. In the day when they were created.
So that same day that they were created, the same Adam, there's not two Adams mentioned here. There's Adam in chapter 5, in chapter 2. Adam is the same one in chapter 1. He created, and then what did he do? He took the man and placed him into. Is that correct? Into the garden. Into. So where was the man before? Outside. Mishpachah. It's the same creation, one. Now Shaul says, can you find it for me? One blood. We all came from one blood. One blood. See if y'all can find that. If a Hebrew can find it, just post it in the chat and I'll pull it up real quick. One blood. One blood. Everyone came from Adam. Everyone came from Adam. I don't know where people are getting this stuff from. What's that? Acts 17. Okay. Yes, I think that's the one. And also Second Ezra. That's correct. Acts 17. And what verse? 26. Okay. Acts 17 and 26. Can you read for me?
And hath made of one blood all nations of men for to dwell on all the face of the earth, and have determined the times before appointed and the bounds of their habitation.
And set boundaries, determined the times before appointed, before anything happened, everything was set up, Mishpachah. Deuteronomy chapter 30, I think it is. The Most High set boundaries. And let's look at Second Ezra. We have to be able to apply some wisdom that we can get understanding, Mishpachah. Okay, 54 is where we want to go. Let's start at 53. Second Ezra 6 and 53, also 54.
Upon the sixth day thou givest commandment unto the earth, that before thee it should bring forth beasts, cattle, and creeping things. And after these, Adam also.
Notice it says after these, meaning after these creatures, then came Adam. It didn't say after the seventh day was over, then he made Adam. He formed Adam. It didn't say that. Okay, read on.
Whom thou makest Lord of all thy creatures. Of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen.
Even the chosen came from Adam. Every human being, everyone who has a brain to think, to chew, to walk, we all came from Adam. All the different colors, we all came from Adam. There's no this nonsense about serpent seed and all kinds of stuff, as if the serpent and Mishpachah, I don't know where people get the stuff from. But I'll tell you that it came from the heathen. Old soup warmed up again. Okay. Second Ezra chapter 6, 53 to 54. Okay.